Welcome to Treasure Island, the classic novel by Robert Louis Stevenson. Chapter 24. In the Enemy's Camp. The red glare of the torch, lighting up the interior of the blockhouse, showed me the worst of my apprehensions realized. The pirates were in possession of the house and stores. There was the cask of cognac. There were the pork and bread as before. And what tenfold increased my horror, not a sign of any prisoner. I could only judge that all had perished, and my heart smote me sorely that I had not been there to perish with them. There were 6 of the buccaneers, all told. Not another man was left alive. 5 of them were on their feet, flushed and swollen, suddenly called out of the first sleep of drunkenness. The 6th had only risen upon his elbow. He was deadly pale, and the blood-stained bandage round his head told that he had recently been wounded, and still more recently dressed. I remembered the man who had been shot and had run back among the woods in the great attack, and doubted not that this was he. The parrot sat preening on Long John's shoulder. He looked paler and sterner than usual. He still wore the broadcloth suit from his mission, now badly worn, soiled with clay, and torn by thorns. "So," said he, "here's Jim Hawkins, shiver my timbers. Dropped in like, eh? Well, come, I'd take that friendly." And thereupon he sat down across the brandy cask and began to fill a pipe. "Give me a loan of the link, Dick," said he. And then, when he had a good light, "That'll do, lad," he added. "Stick the glim in the wood heap, and you gentlemen, bring yourselves too. You needn't stand up for Mr. Hawkins. He'll excuse you. You may lay to that. And so, Jim," stopping the tobacco, "here you were, and quite the pleasant surprise for poor old John. I see you were smart when first I set my eyes on you, but this here gets away from me clean, it do." With my back against the wall, and I stood there, looking Silver in the face, pluckily enough, I hope, to all outward appearance, but with black despair in my heart. Silver took a whiff or two of his pipe with great composure, and then ran on again. "Now, you see, Jim," says he, "since you're here, I'll speak plain. I've always liked you, for being a spirited lad like I was when young. I always hoped you'd join us, take your share, and die a gentleman. Captain Smollett's a good sailor, I'll admit, but too strict. Duty is duty, says he, and right he is. Best steer clear of him. The doctor, he's dead against you, called you an ungrateful scamp. Long and short of it is you can't go back to your own side. They won't have you. Unless you fancy starting a 3rd crew on your own, which is lonely, you'll need to join Captain Silver." So far, so good. My friends, then, were still alive, and though I partly believed the truth of Silver's statement that the cabin party were incensed at me for my desertion, I was more relieved than distressed by what I heard. "I won't fuss about your being in our hands," Silver went on. "That's plain enough. But I'm for talk, not threats. I've never seen good come of threatening. If you like our service, you'll join. If not, Jim, you're free to say no. Free and welcome, mate." Through all this sneering talk, I was made to feel the threat of death that overhung me. "Am I to answer, then?" I asked, with a very tremulous voice. "Lad, no one's oppressing you. Take your bearings." "Well," says I, growing a bit bolder, "if I'm to choose, I declare I have a right to know what's what, and why you're here, and where my friends are."
"What's what?" repeated one of the buccaneers in a deep growl. "You'll perhaps batten down your hatches till you're spoke to, my friend," cried Silver. "Yesterday morning, Mr. Hawkins," said he, "in the dog watch, down came Dr. Livesey with a flag of truce. Says he, Captain Silver, you're sold out. Ship's gone. Well, maybe we'd had a glass and a song, I won't say no. Leastways, none of us had looked out. When we did, by thunder the old ship was gone. Well, says the doctor, let's bargain. So we bargained, him and here we are. Stores, brandy, blockhouse, the firewood you cut, and in a manner of speaking, the whole boat from Cross Trays to Kelson. As for them, they've gone, heaven knows where. He drew again quietly at his pipe. And lest you should take it into that head of yours, he went on, that you was included in the treaty, here's the last word that was said. How many are you, says I, to leave? 4, says he. 4, and one of us wounded. As for that boy, I don't know where he is, confound him, says he, nor I don't much care. We're about sick of him. These was his words. Is that all? I asked. Well, it's all that you're to hear, my son, returned Silver. And now I am to choose. And now you are to choose, said Silver. Well, I said, I'm no fool. I know well enough what awaits me. Let the worst come, I care little. I've seen enough men die since joining you. But there are things I must say. First, you're in a bad way. Ship lost, treasure lost, men lost, your whole business ruined. And if you want to know who did it, it was I. I was in the apple barrel when we sighted land, heard you, John, Dick Johnson, and Hans, who's now at the sea bottom, and reported your plans. And as for the schooner, it was I who cut her cable, and it was I that killed the men you had aboard of her, and it was I who brought her where you'll never see her more, not one of you. The laugh's on my side. I've had the top of this business from the first. I no more fear you than I fear a fly. Kill me if you please, or spare me. But one thing I'll say, and no more. If you spare me, bygones are bygones, and when you fellas are in court for piracy, I'll save you all I can. It is for you to choose. Kill another and do yourselves no good, or spare me and keep a witness to save you from the gallows. I stopped, out of breath. To my surprise, none moved. They just stared like sheep. And while they were still staring, I broke out again. And now, Mr. Silver, I said, I believe you're the best man here, and if things go to the worst, I'll take it kind of you to let the doctor know the way I took it. I'll bear it in mind, said Silver, with an accent so curious that I could not, for the life of me, decide whether he were laughing at my request or had been favorably affected by my courage. I'll put one to that, cried the old mahogany-faced seaman, Morgan by name, whom I had seen in Long John's public house upon the quays of Bristol. It was him that knowed Black Dog. Well, and see here, added the sea cook, I'll put another again to that, by thunder, for it was this same boy that faked it chart from Billy Bones. First and last we've split upon Jim Hawkins. Then here goes, said Morgan with an oath, and he sprang up, drawing his knife as if he had been 20. Avast there, cried Silver. Who are you, Tom Morgan? Maybe you thought you was captain here, perhaps. By the powers, but I'll teach you better. Cross me, and you'll go where many a good man's gone before you, first and last, these 30 year back. Some to the yard arms, shiver my timbers, and some by the board, and all to feed the fishes. Tom Morgan, you may lay to that. Morgan paused, but a hoarse murmur rose from the others. Tom's right, said one.
I stood hazing long enough from one, added another. I'll be hanged if I'll be hazed by you, John Silver. Did any of you gentlemen want to have it out with me? Roared Silver, bending forward from his position on the keg, pipe glowing in his right hand. Put a name on it. You ain't dumb, I reckon. Him that wants shall get it.
Have I lived this many years for a son of a rum-punchin to cock his hat athwart my hoss now? You're gentlemen of fortune by your account. Well, I'm ready. Take a cutlass, him that dares, and I'll see the color of his inside, crutch and all, before this pipe's empty." Not a man stirred. Not a man answered. "That's your sort, is it?" he added, returning the pipe to his mouth. "You're a gay lot to look at, not much worth to fight. I'm cappin' here by 'lection, because I'm the best man by a sea-mile. You won't fight as gentlemen of fortune should, then by thunder you'll obey. I like that boy. I never seen a better boy. He's more a man than any pair of rats here. Let me see him that'll lay a hand on him. You may lay to it." There was a long pause. I stood straight against the wall, my heart still going like a sledgehammer, but now with a ray of hope. Silver leaned against the wall, arms crossed, pipe in the corner of his mouth, calm as though he had been in church. Yet his eye wandered furtively toward his unruly followers. They gradually drew together at the far end of the blockhouse, whispering continuously like a stream. One after another looked up, the red torchlight briefly illuminating their nervous faces. "You seem to have a lot to say," remarked Silver, spitting far into the air. "Pipe up and let me hear it, or lay to." "Ax your pardon, sir," returned one man. "You're free with some rules, maybe keep an eye upon the rest. This crew's dissatisfied, don't vally bullying a marlinspike, and has rights like other crews. By your own rules we can talk together. I ax your pardon, acknowledging you as captain at present, but I claim my right to step outside for a council." With an elaborate sea salute, this long, ill-looking, yellow-eyed fellow stepped towards the door and disappeared. One after another, the rest followed, leaving Silver and me alone with the torch. The sea cook instantly removed his pipe. "Now, look you here, Jim Hawkins," he said in a steady whisper that was no more than audible. "You're within half a plank of death, and what's a long sight worse, of torture. They're going to throw me off, but you mark, I stand by you through thick and thin. I didn't mean to, no, not till you spoke up. I was desperate to lose that much blunt and be hanged in the bargain. But I see you was the right sort. I says to myself, you stand by Hawkins, John, and Hawkins'll stand by you. You're his last card, and by the living thunder, John, he's yours. Back to back, says I. You save your witness, and he'll save your neck." I began dimly to understand. "You mean all's lost?" I asked. "Aye, by gum," he answered. "Ship gone, neck gone. That's the size of it. Once I looked into that bay, Jim Hawkins, and saw no schooner, I'm tough, but I gave out. As for that lot and their counsel, they're fools and cowards. I'll save your life if I can, but see here, Jim, tit for tat, you save Long John from swinging." I was bewildered. It seemed hopeless. He, the old buccaneer, the ringleader throughout. "What I can do, that I'll do," I said. "Understand me, Jim," he said, returning. "I've a head on my shoulders, I have. I'm on Squire's side now. I know you've got that ship safe somewheres. How you done it, I don't know, but safe it is. Now you mark me. I ask no questions, nor I won't let others. I know when a game's up, I do. Ah, you that's young, you and me might have done a power of good together." He drew cognac from the cask into a tin cannikin. "Will you taste, messmate?" When I refused, "Well, I'll take a drain myself, Jim. I need a caulker, for there's trouble ahead. Speaking of trouble, why did the doctor give me the chart?" My face showed such honest wonder he asked no more. "Ah, well, he did," he said. "There's something under that, bad or good." And he took another swallow of the brandy, shaking his great fair head like a man who looks forward to the worst.